I got a problem. I got a strange addiction. Somebody help me. I need an intervention. It ain't alcohol or weed. There's just one thing that I need. I got an addiction to fruit trees. Got an addiction to fruit trees. I take a persimmon to breathe. Hey, the next one I'm getting jujube. Got an addiction to fruit trees.
Peace, family. Want to talk to y'all about a serious issue, a real serious problem. Baldness. Baldness is extremely problematic. Oh no, I wasn't talking about that. That's sexy. This right here is sexy. You know what I'm saying? Sweating and it's glistening. That's sexy. That's the good baldness. Don't get it don't get it twisted. I'm gonna show you what I'm really talking about. Hold on. Yeah, this is the baldness I was talking about. Y'all crazy. Yeah, I mean, y'all know, you know what it is. This is the baldness that I'm talking about. This patch here, baldness. This patch here, baldness. This is all problematic. Now, why is that problematic, VA? Well, these were the spots where, if y'all recall, I had two cars that were sitting here that I got rid of. You know, they were supposed to be project cars that I would be working on, but I just never had time. So this is the result of cars sitting in your yard for an extended period of time. It blocks out sun and pretty much just strips whatever soil is under there of everything. So you go through periods of baldness. But we got the road game for it. We got the road game. But why is it problematic? It's problematic because nature doesn't really like bare soil. You know, what ends up happening is you get things that'll start growing that you may not really care for. You know, things that we look at as weeds, nature will put it there to fill in the spaces. Because the soil, you know, it wants to live. It wants to have life in the soil. And this is a sign of like really no or not much life. But you know, you wait too long, nature will put something there. It'll put something there that we may view as being invasive. So the best solution is to deal with it and, you know, do it in a way where you can end up putting things there that you want. The soil doesn't want to be sunburned. It doesn't want to be windburned. You know, it wants to live, man. These soil microbes, they want to thrive. They want to live. You know, so this is it's really just dirt for the most part. But we want this to be soil. Like I said, we got the road game. So what's the solution? Follow me, follow me, follow me. Here's one solution. This is weed and grass clippings. And the other solution, I hope y'all not getting dizzy. Bam! This is leaves. These are leaves. These are not chopped up. They're raked up leaves that I put in the bag. They got rained on, so they're wet. This is one solution. So what am I gonna do here? I want to build soil. I want to, you know, when you grow food and you grow plants and things like that, the most important part of it is the soil. You want to encourage life in the soil. Otherwise, you're not really making, you know, no real strides. So I'm going to use these materials, and I'm pretty much going to compost. I'm just going to keep building up, you know, layering, building up until it becomes soil. I'm not going to dig up under this. I'm going to leave this alone. You know, if you put enough organic material, you build up enough humus, you know, the layers underneath will start becoming rich and active, and it'll become soil. And it'll be, you know, basically, you know, the type of soil that you'll need to plant the things that you want. I eventually would like to put some sort of fruit tree or bush or something here, but I'm gonna start with composting right here for this area, and, you know, layering until soil is built. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with these leaves. I'm gonna work on this patch today. The other patch I'll work on at another time, but I just wanted to kind of bring y'all with me. This is one of my projects for 2022. So I'm gonna mow over this to get it chipped up, and then I'm gonna spread it here. Then I'll spread a layer of the grass and weed clippings, and then I'll spread some more of these chopped up leaves, and I'll just keep doing that until I run out of materials. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Camera lady's not here, and I don't have a tripod, and I don't wanna bore you with, you know, the actual work part of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back. All right, so we've got a nice little mat of leaves here, which of course is a carbon material. You know, in a lot of cases when you're wanting to build soil, you know, it's a good thing to do would be to use cardboard at the very bottom. But there was no grass, there was no weeds of any significance under here to smother out. So I think we'll be all right without cardboard. Plus, I just ain't have none. So, you know, I'm not trying to make it more complicated than what it should be. Cardboard is a carbon material. You know, these leaves are carbon. So we got a nice little mat here. So I'm gonna spread some of the grass and weed clippings, which is a nitrogen, on top. And then I'll top the rest with the little bit of leaves that I have left, and then I'll come back. All right, so now we got most of the grass and weed clippings down. The good thing about the grass clippings, excuse the noise, I don't even see why stuff like that is necessary. But the good thing about the grass clippings is that there was leaves, there were dry leaves in the grass clippings when I was cutting. And I'm saying that's a good thing because I don't really have a whole lot of leaves left. So I'm gonna layer the top with what I have left, and then I will come back. All right, there we go. So it's topped with the last layer of leaves, and we're pretty much good for right now. Now listen, I'm not delusional. I understand that, like, when you build a compost pile, in order for it to break down effectively, it needs to be at least 3 feet tall and then 3 feet across and wide. It needs to be that for it to break down effectively. So I'm not looking at this like it's gonna be a compost pile to break down in that way. And I'm not making 3 feet high a goal for this area. I'm just putting down organic material, and I'm putting it down in layers where I feel that it will effectively break down over time. So this is gonna be like a steady solution. You know, this is a solution that's gonna take some time. I get it. Now, like I said, eventually I wanna put trees or shrubs or something of that nature here. So I know I'm gonna have to do other things to make the soil fungal rich, because when you deal with trees and shrubs, they prefer a more fungal dominated soil. So, you know, on top of layering, you know, I'll do things eventually like bring in wood chips and things of that nature. Put down, you know, try to make sure that there's more carbon material here than nitrogen material. You know, a lot of times the nitrogen is what encourages bacterial growth, which is the kind of soil that your annuals like. But the carbon encourages fungal growth, which is the type of soil, fungal dominated soil. Your trees and your shrubs, they like that, they prefer that. So wood chips, you know, leaf mulch, things like that will encourage more fungal growth. Now you'll need both, you know, regardless of what you're planting. But for your annuals, a more bacterial dominated soil, you know, with some fungi is necessary. For your trees and woody growth, you want more fungal dominated, you know, with some bacteria. It's all necessary. So I want to keep doing this, but I'm also gonna, continue to make compost piles for other areas of my garden. And I want to try to make this an area where I can plant in. I'm not gonna wait until it's just soil. I'm gonna try to do things like plant. Like in a few weeks, I'll probably throw some beans or something like that down to get some nitrogen going in here. I might even try to do some moringa in this area, because moringa is also a nitrogen fixer. I'm definitely going to try to put comfrey here, and then, chop and drop, and that'll encourage more, what do they call it? Biomass for soil. So I'm gonna be working on this area. This will be one of my projects, and I will keep you all posted on it. Now this patch here, we got a different issue here, because there was poison ivy here, and it looks like some of it might still be active. And that stuff tore me up last year, so I'm gonna have to make sure that I deal with that. I think I'm gonna look up ways to deal with it. I'm definitely gonna try to chop up, some of these, they look like live wires, man. And I'm gonna chop some of that up. I'm gonna put cardboard. I'll probably lay cardboard thick here as well, and then start layering. But I'm not gonna mess with that today. That's gonna be a minute from now. But here's where we are. And again, I'll keep you posted. Now listen, I mentioned that I was gonna eventually talk about where I was for that period of time. Man, we had a whole lot going on. So first off, one of the biggest things that we dealt with was I ended up changing careers. I don't know if y'all remember, but I was managing a group home for adults that had intellectual disabilities. I was in that field for quite a few years and just got burned out, man. I just got really burned out. So I, with that type of work, first of all, to people who do any type of human services work, I salute you. Hats off to you, for real. I mean, I know you have to have a real love for that. You have to have a lot of patience, and you have to be the type of person that's willing to sacrifice yourself. Because a lot of times, your very humanity can get lost, depending on the type of work that you do. You go into these types of jobs with the mentality of like, you want to help, human services, you want to serve humans, you understand? But people tend to forget that you're a human as well. And then after a while, it's almost like you forget, because you're always sacrificing. Now for me, I was on call 24 hours a day. So taking time away or taking time off was like, it was very difficult for me, because even if we did take time, my mind was always at the group home. And a lot of times I would get called. Most of the time I was working, I didn't have an assistant manager, so I was, trying to hold things down on my own for a very long time. And I didn't get a good assistant manager until, I was already burnt out. It was too late. So I missed the work, but, I got the opportunity to do something where it's a little bit less stressful. So, I miss it, and I still, go there from time to time to help out. And, my guys, they still call me on the phone every now and again. But, I'm saying all of this to tell you that put yourself first, man. Make sure that you take care of yourself. Because a lot of times if you don't take care of you, nobody else is. You can have a spouse that'll look out for you, but when you go out of your house and you're dealing with this cold world, you got to look out for yourself, man. Otherwise, like I said, man, your very humanity could be forgotten, almost lost. So, like I said, for all of you who do that type of work, the human services field, in any kind of field where you're serving people, I salute you. I salute you. The type of work that I'm doing now it's different. I'm still in a sense helping people, but again, it's less stressful than what I was doing before. So that took a lot of time and that took a lot of energy. You know, just to put it in perspective, when we in management in that type of field, you know, for the agency that I was working for, if you're wanting to leave, you know, with most jobs you do a 2-week notice. That job, because it's so intense, they ask you to do a 30-day notice. So, you know, I gave a 30-day notice, and my assistant manager at the time, you know, I was helping her get, basically helping to prepare her as well as I could. It's like being the president in a sense, man. You don't understand, you know, what's really behind that seat until you sit in it. And even though she was, you know, my assistant manager, there's a lot of things that I dealt with that, you know, she didn't really deal with. She didn't have to deal with. Excuse me, I'm sweating. I've been working out here all day. But she didn't really have to deal with a lot of the things. So, you know, after I stepped down and she took over, after some time, I mean, she's expressed multiple times like, yo, if I'd have known it was like this, I wouldn't have done it. You know, I tried to prepare her as best as I could, but that took a lot of time and energy. Then we had a lot of other things go on. We went through the snowstorm. I'm gonna see if I still have that little clip of my dumb self trying to make a video in the snowstorm, but we ended up being without power for like almost a week. And when that happened, immediately I thought of, you know, people who had gone through that last year. Like, I think Miss Linda had gone through that, and she was out for a very long time. So it's no joke, man, you know, being without power and dealing with cold. We were fortunate because it just so happened that before the snowstorm came, late fall, mid to late fall, Honey Bee had really gotten into the idea of camping. So she was getting all this camping stuff, and we had done a lot of, like, you know, just little camping trips, different places. And you know, we did some camping in the front yard. We would pitch the tent. We got a fire pit. You know, we'd cook outside and stuff like that. So we had a lot of things that was helpful during that time, but it was still rough, man. It was still rough. It was still crazy. So that took a lot out of me, man. Yeah, that was a lot. Maybe one video I'll talk about that, because I think that there's a lot of things that we can do to kind of prepare ourselves for things like that, whether it be, you know, extreme cold or extreme heat or any kind of condition where you just have to do without for a certain amount of time. But I'm not gonna make this too long. It was just a lot of different things that was going on, but mainly it was like the job situation that kind of, it drained me. It sapped me energetically, it sapped me emotionally, mentally. I was just drained, man. And there were many days where I wanted to, you know, pick up my camera phone and do a video, because there's a lot that I wanted to talk about even when it was snowing. There's a lot of things that you can be doing, you know, to prepare for the spring. You know, even when it's cold outside. I just didn't have it in me. I just didn't have the energy. So, you know, I missed it. I missed y'all. I missed, you know, the interactions. And I mean, but I was just off of social media, period, man. Sometimes you just got to get away and just kind of care for yourself. And I realized that it had been a while since I've done that. So I'm still learning how to do that. So, you know, it's a process. But anyway, that was it for today. I just wanted to, you know, give you a little look at one of the mini projects that I'm working on. But yeah, if y'all like the video, leave a comment. All right, peace, family. Love y'all. Keep doing God's work, y'all.